Okay, welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger, and today we're going to review the movie House Party 1. But before we do that, I want to urge everybody to hit that like button if you haven't already. Apologies for the late start. There was some technical difficulties. And yeah, I have I have Melody here. And yeah, so she actually wasn't born when this movie first came out. This movie came out in 1990, so it's interesting to get her take on it from a generational standpoint. You know, somebody who was alive and not driving, but alive and living life somewhat during this era, and someone who hadn't seen it at all. Okay, so now the story takes place, and I think it's in Detroit. I think it's in Detroit, and it features a young man who wants to go to his best friend's party. The young man is Kid, played by Christopher Kid Reid, even though his stage name is Kid. And his best friend is Play, who is throwing what's supposed to be the greatest house party ever. Now, I will say, growing up as a young Negro in Oakland, house parties were rare at night because we didn't have parents that went on vacation like that. Like most of our parents were working class, or if you just like that, then your mother was on welfare or something like that. So the thought of them like leaving you alone with a huge house was not a common occurrence where I grew up. So house parties were rare at night. Most of them, we would have get-togethers during the day when the parents were at work. If your parents were like mine and working class. But this was a special situation, and Play, he threw the party to make the most of it. He invited, of course, his best friend Kid, and Kid has a strict father, and we're going to get into that, but he had some complications in going. All right, so now that we have that out the way, how you doing, Melody?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Can't complain. Better than some, worse than others.
Right. Same here.
Okay. So the movie starts off with Kid. Kid wakes up and he reveals his signature hairdo. Now, for those of you who don't know, in the 90s and in the late 80s, the style for young black men and boys was a high top fade. Now, typically, a high top fade went up 1 to, I'd say, 3.5 inches at most.
Mm-hmm.
At most. His was perhaps maybe 8 to 9 inches high.
I would say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his signature. The length of his high top fade, and this is not an exaggeration, was greater than the length of his face and head.
Facts.
Yes. So he literally had more hair than brain. It was the equivalent to where if somebody with dreads were to take those and just point them upward, it was something like that. So interesting take. That is what made him famous in a lot of people's opinion. That's something that you remember about him.
Well, did you have a part in yours?
Oh yeah, so I did have a high top fade, and yes, I did have a part in it. And what happened was, so I went to a barber that messed it up so bad that the part actually stayed permanent. Like it created something, like it shocked the follicles or something, and created a situation where the hairs were going the opposite direction where the part was. So it became like a natural part that the barber had to work around. I had to go to a different one, and he knew exactly how to handle that situation. So shout out to him. Yeah. And that was going on for a while. After the high top fade, I started to get waves. And, I guess through years of the brushing of the waves, like Chicago on Poetic Justice, after years of that, that natural part finally went away because it's no longer there. But there was a time where if you didn't cut it right, it would appear to be a receding hairline. So,
oh God,
yeah,
cool.
Is what it is. Yeah. And this was when I was very young too. But yeah, that actually happened. So that's how things were back in the days, styles and situations changed. So he's raised by a single father. Now he's a single father that works the night shift. He's obviously blue collar because of the type of work he did, and he's doing what he can to raise his son. Apparently, his mother, his wife, kid's mother died, and he's a single father trying to do his best. So he works night. He comes home. He makes breakfast for his son, and then he tells his son to get up, get ready to eat, and then he goes to bed and gets as much sleep as he possibly can. And yeah, that seems to be his life. The father. Salute to him. By the way, Robin Harris, rest in peace. He died shortly after that, right when his career was starting to take off. In its place, Bernie Mac was able to build his career, who also, it's hey, life's strange. But but yeah, so yeah, that's the case with him. Any thoughts on the father or Chris as their characters are introduced?
No, I mean, the father seemed cool. He just was very strict because his mom died. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay, so you think the mother dying being made him strict, or maybe he was just strict and then the mother kind of like kept him calm, kept him whole and everything?
That's what I think. I think the mom was the nice one and he was always the strict one. But since she died, he's just straight strict.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. So after that, let's see. After that, he was preparing himself to ask his father to go to the party, to go to his friend's party. And he wound up not doing it because the father fell asleep. So he goes to school and he sits down with his boys. He sits down with his boys, which consist of Play, his best friend, and Bilal. Bilal is played by Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence's career hadn't taken off at that point. But this is kind of like his introduction to the world. He did some stuff before, but this is what people originally started to know him for. This was before the Martin Show and all that good stuff, and before he became a household name. So he's sitting down with his boys, and they're planning the party. Play is trying to get Bilal to DJ for his party for free. Bilal is refusing to, and Play said, listen, I'm not going to pay you in money, but what I will do is pay you in the possibility of sex. Now, one second. And these are the girls that he is paying for the possibility of sex with. He's basically saying, listen, I'm not going to give you money. However, I will introduce you to women like these two. If you notice, much like Kid and Play, one is light and one is dark. And even though individual tastes may vary, these, from the way the guys were treating them, these were the hottest women hottest girls at the school that they went to. These were the girls that all of the top dudes wanted to get at, and they were saving their choices. They were basically just like kind of pulling through their options. So Play runs up, he runs his game and tries to get them to go to the party. Now, yeah, somebody said colorism in the chat room. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the colorism aspect of it on both the men and the women in this particular movie. But before we get into that, did you get the impression, Melody, that there was some type of social hierarchy at the school and these women were at the top of it?
Yes, I do. And I don't think it was colorism because the dark-skinned woman the dark-skinned girl was actually getting more attention than Tisha Campbell.
I agree. In fact, at this point, I will say that dark-skinned women, this was really a golden era. For those who was there, this was a golden era as far as promotion for dark-skinned girls. In fact, I know I mentioned that all my crushes at this time in my life were young dark-skinned girls. Not necessarily Tisha Campbell, who's older than me, but it was the Tatiana Ali's, the Rudy Huxtables, and to a lesser extent, even though she was a little older, the Lisa Turtles, and or Lourdes Voorhees, I think is her name.
Didn't you say Janet was hot back in the day?
Yeah, but
When you
remember,
was
I'm
like
trying
8?
to say, like, when I was a boy and I was looking at girls. See, Janet was a
Oh, yeah.
woman.
Okay.
Now, I will say that Janet. Okay, so you don't notice, Melody, because you're younger, and a lot of younger people don't notice. But TV is not what it used to be, where you only watched new stuff. TV used to be where people had what's called reruns. And what a rerun is when they play the same episode of something over and over and over again. And they, excuse me, hold on. They did this for years, meaning that you could be watching something from the 70s and you're watching it today. So you think that you're watching like a new episode of, say, the Brady Bunch or Good Times or the Jeffersons or something. You think that this is a brand new episode if you never saw it before, but really it just came out. Now, why did I bring that up? Because of that, I used to think Janet Jackson was my age. I didn't know that I was watching old stuff. So if I were to watch an old episode of what's that show called? Good Times. Janet Jackson was a little girl on that show, and I was the same age that Janet Jackson was when she came out, or when that show was being played in rerun. But I didn't know that show was like years old, maybe even a decade or two old.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm thinking that Janet Jackson is my age, and she's cute as hell. I want that. So I was attracted to Penny, but not necessarily the adult Janet Jackson. And the same with there was a little girl also, and these are all darker skinned women, by the way, because I'm talking about the colorism thing. There was a little girl named Tootie, whose real name is Kim Fields, and she played on a show called Facts of Life. And she was a cute little girl on skates that just skated around the place. And I had a crush on her too. And it turns out she was a lot older. I also had a crush on Cherry from Punky Brewster. So basically, all my crushes were, none of them looked like Tisha Campbell.
Right.
None of them looked like Tisha Campbell. So, these were all like so Tay Ashley says, Janet isn't dark. I'm not going to blur the line between beige and dark.
She's in the middle. She's like a brown skin, I would say.
Well, yeah, we don't really have. Okay, so Tay, just so you know, where I grew up, we just called non-light skinned people dark. I mean, because we didn't really, it's not as important. I know that there are places in this country that have various different names, yellow bone, red bone, and for various different hues of people. We don't, I didn't grow up with that. I just say if you're not light skinned, you're dark. So I classify all of these as darker skinned women. Unless you're like around Tisha Campbell or lighter, like Jasmine Guy, I just call you dark skinned. Or non-light skin. But the point is that the young ladies that I was attracted to, and the perceived young ladies that I was attracted to, were darker skin, and that was because that was what was being promoted during that time, during the 80s, early 90s portion of my life.
Now let me ask you a question. Would you say there was more dark skin promotion back then than there is now? Like in videos and on TV?
That's a good question. It's hard to answer because I am not really as familiar with current pop culture as I was. I haven't listened to new music or anything like that since like 2005 or 6 or something like that. Somewhere around there, I just stopped listening to whoever's new, whoever's hot. Good question.
Because you know why I brought that up? Because a lot of colorism chicks, they always say they don't have any representation in the media. So that's why I want to know your opinion on that.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Let me see. So I watch a show like Empire. I'd say that's pretty balanced there. I used to watch Everybody Hates Chris. Had the dark-skinned mom, dark-skinned daughter. One of the boys' love interests was a light-skinned girl.
Right.
So, I don't know. I'd say it's pretty balanced.
Me too. I would definitely say it's mixed.
Yeah. Now, I can make the argument for them that since it's more of them, they would have more promotion. And also, and this isn't really something that we as men have control over. Y'all let like a lot of fat bitches promote you. And so what that does is that negates it. Like it's negative promotion. It's promotion going in the opposite direction. When y'all have these Lonnie Loves out there, being fat and saying stuff, it works against the image. Now, light-skinned girls don't necessarily have much of that going on.
Right.
So, I don't know many, any fat or even any really ugly light-skinned women that the population chose to make famous. I don't really see light-skinned women doing that. Like if there was what's that chick name? The Ghostbuster chick?
I'm not sure. Ghostbusters?
So there was like one black chick on Ghostbusters, and she's on the new Ghostbusters, and she's like busted. She's like all kinds of,
she's busted. Is she fat?
No, she's not fat, which is kind of worse because she's like muscle. Like she's like muscle mixed with fat and like a not pretty face. Leslie Jones.
Yeah,
you see, there isn't a light skin equivalent to Leslie Jones. So that image is running against the whole, beautiful black woman thing because there's no light skin equivalent to that. So that's something y'all do to yourself. If I was a black woman, dark skinned black woman, I would just like not watch Leslie Jones. I would boycott that image altogether. But when black men decided to promote women, this is what we did. Hold on. This is what we did. This was us staying reasonably fair and balanced. And I think that this is a very, at least at this stage in the movie, a very fair and balanced representation.
I would say so. I would say they're both the same number if you were to rate them from 1 to 10.
Agreed. Even though the fella's reaction, and by the way, that number changes as they both get older, significantly. But yeah, the fellas did seem to put the darker skinned one, Shireen, the one on the right, in higher regard, slightly higher regard than the lighter skinned one, Sydney, which is the left. Yeah. But if I were to eyeball it, I would give them both the same. And I do like, and this is something else. You actually got to watch the movie. I'm not going to play the movie here. Maybe I'll do it on a movie night, but I'm not going to play the movie here. You actually got to watch the movie to know this. So the Shireen, they all had natural hair. And I'm talking about all the women had natural hair. In fact, in this particular scene, you'll hear that Shireen is making fun of a woman with a weave. That was commonplace back then. And they all were slim. It wasn't any or many fat chicks at all. So this is how we choose to represent you. How y'all choose to represent yourselves and the representation that you accept for yourselves, that's I'm not going to take responsibility for that. I'm not. If you watch Leslie Jones and then that's on you. Don't take it out on black men. That's y'all.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So kid backs up in his seat while talking. He backs up because he's in the cafeteria and he's going to go get himself something to eat. So when doing that, he backs up into a couple of guys who are up to no good.
The bullies.
Yeah. These characters. Oh, by the way, Sir Tice, I appreciate you, bro. Before it gets too long, my bad. Crazy cool topic. What sparked this? Also, is this a recent review GC in mail or from memory? So for me, I seen this movie. I appreciate you, Sir Tice. Thanks a lot. I seen this movie, I don't know, over 20 times, just in passing and stuff like that. I've seen this movie a lot. Melody hadn't seen it until I suggested that she watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a while ago, so it's really like from memory for me, but it's fresh in Melody's memory, even though she hadn't seen it that many times.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do the
So
best I can.
yeah, exactly. No, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're remembering the characters and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, it's like second nature. Like I could probably like recite this movie because it was so popular back in the day. I remember they used to play stuff over and over again because we didn't have the good cable and we didn't have the Netflix where companies are just competing by making like new movies every week. No, they'll like it was special to see like a movie that you like over and over again.
Right.
So here is the couple of guys who were up to no good. These are some shout out to Fantastic BABGs. If I ever seen one, especially to be in high school. What kind of crap is this?
Yeah, they were like swole.
What kind of crap is this? They in high school?
They look like grown men.
They in high school though, for real? Yeah, this is full force. This is the group full force. Like for real, y'all in high school? So you are you're a regular sized kid. That's kid with the so that's the high top fade I was telling you about. That's kid in the back. He backs into dude, and dude spills some milk on him. And you know that's like stepping on a Nagaga's Nikes. That's like stepping on a Nagaga's Nikes. Like, oh my God. Like, you know, it's the beginning of, shout out to the Boondocks, what's called a Nagaga moment. It's the beginning. Look at him. Look, he spilled the milk and look at the look on his face. He's like, oh, this dude he spilled some milk on me. Now, most people don't cry over spilt milk, but I think kid's about to cry. That's like 2.5 Devos, like right there. So, yeah, something bad is about to happen. Once again, this is a Nagaga moment.
Right.
All right. So, Sir Tice, again, I appreciate your brother. He says, love to share the backstory of this movie. Yeah, exactly. So I did a backstory, right? I did a backstory before doing the movie. Are you saying that you love that I did it or that you would love that I do it?
I think when you did the backstory, there were technical difficulties. So I will probably do it again.
Okay. No? Okay, so yeah. The short backstory is Kid, the light-skinned dude in the background with the lime green striped shirt. He wants to go to his best friend. You got noise, Melly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Mute it.
All right, I'll mute it for a second. Oh, the backstory, how it was created. I don't know much about how it was created. I think it's in Detroit. I do know that they originally tried to cast Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff. That I do know. But, you know, if you want to share something in the chat room, you know, feel free to do it. But no, like the story, I think actually they told, I think that this was an older dude telling the story of a party that he went to. You know. So anyway, hold on, let me clear the screen. So anyway, he backs into these dudes, you know, and all their muscles and shit. And then he calms the situation, right? He calms the situation and says, I'll buy you a milk. Don't get up. You know, it's not a big problem. And then he sees the girls. Now, the girls seem to be interested in him more so than Play. They were interested in the lighter skinned dude more so than the darker skinned Play.
Colorism.
Yeah, I don't even know. I think back then it was just the hair. I think back then whoever had the highest high top fade was the man.
Yeah, I think so.
Like he was the king of a high top fade. Therefore, the ladies just wanted the high top fade dude.
Right.
Yeah. And also, you know, Play had a reputation of a womanizer anyway. So, you know, it was maybe they were just avoiding that and trying not to be another notch on the belt where they looked at Kid as somebody as some, you know, who would take it more seriously long term, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So after he spoke to the ladies for a little bit and, tried to get them to come to the party, he backs up. He's looking at their booties. He's looking at their booties and he is walking backwards. And guess who just so happened to be standing right behind him? Yep.
One of the bullies.
Yep. So because that's twice, they decided to check him. Now, the little one here, this one right here with the leather cap tilted to the side, he is the master instigator. It was not going to be a big deal until the little one said something. And what followed was a situation where, they started talking about his mother. And his mother is dead, so he felt the need to defend himself. He throws Jello at the bullies, and they retaliate. And which was one of the worst ass whoopings ever. I can't imagine an ass whooping so bad to where you are hovering, being held up by one dude. He has you in the air, in airplane mode, while another swole dude is punching you straight up, and you are completely defenseless to do anything about it. It was a severe ass whooping.
But it was even worse that his friends sat back and watched him get beat up.
They did nothing.
Nothing at all.
They did nothing. It was shameful. And like with every punch, they just was like, ooh, like, dang, you got it bad. You just got it bad. Like, it just looks so painful. That was just such an ass whooping, Better you than me, though. It seems like what they were saying, like, it's your fault for spilling his milk. It seemed like where they was going with this. What are your thoughts?
I got that too from it. Like, well, you shouldn't have never did that, and you shouldn't have never bumped into him. But at the same time, if that was like a real situation, I would expect my friends to at least break it up.
Exactly. It wasn't that long. Nobody broke it up, and they were hovering midair while he was getting the shit knocked out of him.
Right, but if that was a real situation, he's pale, he's real light. He would have been all bruised up.
Exactly. These weren't regular punches neither. No. These were like completely undefended, undodged, and everything, straight up into the air. So, yeah. Melody, yes. Remember your high school days. Would you go out, even though the fight was unfair, would you go out with a guy that got his ass whooped that bad?
Like date him?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, probably not back in high school. Because my mindset, I was a kid. So, no.
So it's just so emasculating that, even though he didn't have a fair shot at it, and this wasn't even one-on-one, but just seeing that happen is just a complete dry up down there, huh?
Yes. Now, if he was trying to defend himself, like trying to fight back, squaring up, swinging, even if he lost, I probably would have gave him a chance. But the fact that he was so scared and didn't do anything was like, nah, you didn't like defend yourself at all.
Well, no, he threw the first punch.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
No, I remember he threw the Jello.
About his mom. So he threw the Jello, right? And then they was like, this punk is throwing stuff at us. And then he threw the first punch, but one of the swole dudes caught it, and that's the one that lifted him up in the air.
Okay, you know what? You're right. Yeah. Well, to me, he should have never threw that Jello, period.
But but they were talking about his mom. He was defending the honor of his mom, who's dead.
Yeah, but me personally, I wouldn't have done it, but.
Yeah, but he doesn't lose points because he did throw a punch or two.
Okay, yeah, if you put it that way.
Now do the friends lose points in your eyes?
The friends definitely lost points because if that was Kid, right? The light skin one.
Yeah, the light skin one's Kid.
If I was Kid, I wouldn't even hung with them after that. I would have been like, you know what? You ain't try to stop it. You didn't try to get nobody. I'm done with you.
And then afterwards, they were like, we had your back. And he was like, way back.
Right. Exactly. He knew what it was.
Yeah.
He knew they were scared, so they would have lost mad points for that.
Yeah. So after that, went to the principal's office. The principal said, I have to notify your father. So, he's worrying. And I remember these days, see, back in the day, people, phones had entire houses attached to it or apartments. There weren't any cell phones. I mean, for drug dealers and doctors there were, but there weren't really cell phones for the rank and file person. So there was house phones. These phones, so you may or may not still have this depending on when your house was made. Well, actually, you do. So that thing that your like your Ethernet cable, think of like an Ethernet cable but smaller. That was built into the walls of every home, and you plugged it into the phone. And the extent that you can move your phone is however long that cord is. So he had a house phone and he had a mail slot, and he didn't know how the school was going to notify his father that he that he got into a fight. So he comes home and he asks his father, can he go to the party? His father says, by the way, look at his father. Don't he just look like he's an ass whooper?
Yeah,
like physical. Don't he look like he just like has an old belt that he whoops kids' ass with?
Yeah, he looks very old school. Definitely.
Yeah, don't he?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
He looks like, the typical dad.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like the typical hardworking blue-collar dad. He looks like the part.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely looks like the part. He even has a belt on right now. He looks like, see, y'all remember feeling sorry for a kid? Because everybody got whoopings, but but kids know, R.I.P. Robin Harris. But kids know who had the dad that you didn't want to get the whooping by.
Mm-hmm.
It was him and the father from Good Times. I swear they look like they just.
I knew you were gonna say that. You always said that.
He is. He do. John Amos, he looks like a master ass whooper.
I think his name's John Amos, right?
Yeah, that's the father from Good Times.
Yeah, I think he looks worse than him. He has like a scarier, meaner look.
You talking about the father from Good Times?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. He does look like, and that's why Michael was afraid to grow. That's why he's still short, because he gave him that look all the time, like, you better not get taller than me, boy. Like, and it just stayed with him, even though he acted the part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, but back then they had the strong black disciplinarian father image out there for that. Exactly, Bebe's kids. So yeah. Yeah, he does seem like the type that keeps Bebe's kids in line and stuff like that. And right now he's holding a blender full of Dick Gregory.
What's Dick Gregory?
I tell you what Dick Gregory is. In fact, if it wasn't for this movie, I wouldn't know what Dick Gregory was. But Dick Gregory is the name of a comedian. And I think that's Slim Fast, and maybe Dick Gregory did a commercial for it, and black people just called it Dick Gregory. But it's supposed to be a shake that makes you slimmer.
Oh, how do you know that's what that is that he's holding?
Well, just the context, that because he says, I need to drink this. He said, because I got a weight problem. I can't wait to eat.
Okay.
So
you put two and two together,
yeah,
pretty
put
much.
two and two together, yeah. But I don't think that there's something in the store. In fact, I never remember anything in the store ever that you went in and bought like Dick Gregory.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that he's just a comedian that did the advertisement for it, and all the boomers they just called it Dick Gregory.
Hilarious.
Yeah, and boomers do shit like that. Like they don't change the name of stuff when they're supposed to, because like if a store gets bought out by different people and the name changed, they'll still call it the old name.
Yes, that's true. Because I remember there was a corner store named Old Macy's. It used to be a Jamaican guy who owned it. And like after the guy left, they still was calling it Old Macy's. So it's like, I understand what you mean by that.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think that this is just Slim Fast, and he's calling it Dick Gregory, and so is every other black person at the end. Like, give me some of that Dick Gregory.
Mm-hmm. Dick Gregory. That's
But
funny.
if you actually go to Amazon and try to buy some Dick Gregory, it's nothing there. A porn site will come up. Like, it's nothing there. Yeah. But all right, so that's the father. So he asked him before the father was notified if he can go to the party. Now, this is a fast one. This is a fast one that young men pull over the old. Because later, when he gets when his pops get the notification from the school, kid tried to pull a fast one, and he said, you already promised that I can go. You already told me I can go. But he wasn't having that. He was not having that. At the end of the day, you ain't going to that damn party. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he put his foot and his belt down. And yeah. So that's what happened. That's what happened with that. And it turns out that kid decided to go anyway. Now, Melody, if you were in a situation like that, would you sneak out?
I probably would, yes. Because I really want to go to that party. So, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I concur. Like, when you think of the nature of punishment is restricting you from what you want to do.
Right.
Now, if you go anyway, the worst he can do is punish you more. Now, there is the off chance that, say he punishes you for a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is the off chance that nothing interesting will come up in that month. That's what you're hoping for. You're hoping for that you're not missing anything, that it's just an uneventful February, and you're not, there wasn't any parties going on anyway, so you didn't miss anything that month. That's what you hope for during punishment. That's what you hope for.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah. But if you had a dad like mine, punishment did not have a time limit on it.
Damn.
So go for it.
It's when he says it's over?
Yeah, it was when he says it's over, or because sometimes he just forgot I was on punishment. And then I just did shit.
Right.
So technically I'm still on it. Like to this day, technically I'm still on punishment. But like he just forgot, oh damn, I forgot he was on punishment. You know?
Honestly, I was one of those kids. I would rather get beat than to be put on punishment.
That's because you were a teenager when you got put on punishment. But when you were a kid, there's nothing worse than a beating, because, outside had its limits. It wasn't like a social thing that you wanted to do, and you wasn't trying to copulate with the opposite sex. But when you're a teenager, social things become more important than the skin on your ass. But
yeah.
But when you're young, ass skin, is the most important thing in your life. So up until 12, it's all about protecting that ass skin. But once you start, getting like into the late junior high years, it's all about social orders, and that's what the parents attack.
Yep. I'm like, man, just smack me, please. Beat me and just let me go. I would rather that.
Exactly. And yeah, I think your ass just develop an immunity too.
Pretty much. You're already used to it from a kid, so.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
So he goes to the party. Anyway. He sneaks out. He doesn't have a car, so he's walking to the party, right? And he crosses the streets, and somebody almost runs him over, right?
Yep.
And guess who it is?
The bullies.
Exactly. Now, for some strange reason, in this movie, these three dudes just patrol the neighborhood in a Jeep. Like while everybody else is at the party, these dudes is circling the empty neighborhood in the Jeep looking for people to fuck with. Like that's how they chose to spend their night while everybody else is grabbing cookies and ass. That's what they are doing.
I just think they just couldn't. They wasn't invited. That's why they was doing it.
Yeah,
they
but
go to the party.
That's what I'm saying. If they didn't have to be like the whole steroid dude to the school, just tripping off spilled milk and stuff, they would have been invited.
True, but they'd rather be mean. So guess what? They didn't go.
Exactly. So, and keep in mind, all this started literally over spilt milk.
Literally.
Because it's not like they had problems before, or else they wouldn't have sat next to him. Like, why are you gonna sit behind like the big swole dude that you had a problem with before? Like, I just had a run in with them last week, and it's tension, but I'm gonna sit right next to him. Nah, like they wouldn't have sat there if that was the case. So
wait,
yeah.
Before you continue, did you ever have a bully like that in your school?
No, they didn't make dudes like that. Not like that. I mean, there were dudes who were reasonably bigger than average, and most certainly bigger than me. But were they dudes that, at least not that I know of, that patrolled the neighborhood looking for people to mess with? Nah.
Okay.
Nah, like I would say dudes that's like ridiculously that size would probably be like on the football team or something like that, there. But were they out bullying? Nah. No, I mean we had hooligans, but they drop out. So like for whatever reason, if they were drug dealers, they want to pursue their career or something, but they would drop out.
Well, usually people that big got left back like 3 times. And I had a girl
24 in the 14th grade. Yeah,
exactly. I had a girl who got left back like 3 times who used to take my lunch money, literally. So I can relate.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what was going on with them. So kid comes into a party and he decides to do his DJ thing. It's a party full of older people, and that's when they come and strangle him. And the cops come to break it up. And they did this whole "I am somebody" thing, which, oh, by the way, there's a theme throughout this movie of the racist cops, because this is, many people don't know, this is like in the wake of the Rodney King situation. So they were playing on the trope of the, comedically racist cops. That's just on some strange. So they hem the boys up and, tell them to go their separate directions. And kid finally makes it to the party, So we're going to get into this dude right here a little bit later. All right. The dude that just keep bumping the table.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always that one dude at a party who do that.
I never known a dude that just bumped the DJ table regularly. Like,
really?
Nah. Like in high school, well, sometimes the DJ table. Now this is a house party, but the DJ table is normally like elevated, and like if it's a school party or something like that or whatever, but it's always like on a platform. And I think that's deliberate, so stuff like this can't happen. But yeah, probably if it's a house party. See, I don't think. In fact, I don't think. Now that I think about it, in high school, I don't even think that we had a party ever with an official DJ with turntables and everything. I know that we had house parties and we were playing like mixtapes or something like that.
Right.
But an actual DJ like this with the mic and everything, nah. In fact, I can't remember one. I'm like going through my mental database, and yeah, I don't think that I remember that.
But when you got older, you went to parties like that, right?
Well, when you get older, you have your own house, so you're not really having like a house party when your parents is gone. You just have, people over. And
Right.
yeah, you do have you can and do hire a professional DJ.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so but in this one they did, and dude just kept bumping the table. It was kind of strange. Oh, and let's not forget the first, at least the first that I know of another brother.
Oh,
Rest
rest
in
in
peace.
peace.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Pop Williams, aka Bang Bang Bang.
Yeah, I
Rest
just
in
call him
peace.
Pops.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I guess Pops is better. I call him Pop Williams from the Wayans brothers. What was that show
Which
with
one?
Sean and Marlon Wayans? They was like, "We're brothers. We're
We're
happy."
happy and we're singing and we're colored.
Yeah. What's that
Yeah.
show?
Um,
John Witherspoon. But what's the name of that show? So
the,
from that show, his name
wasn't
was
it the
Pop
Wayne
Williams.
brothers?
Oh yeah, so the Wayans brothers.
The
Yeah.
Wayne's brothers? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my
So
sister used to love that.
yeah. So I just call him Pop Williams from that, and yeah, rest in peace to him. So he was there, and you know he's hating, he's talking crap, even though he likes what he sees with the ladies that go by. And once again, you know, 90s women who were in their teens and 20s in the 90s, you know, I hate to say it to the next generation, but too much corn syrup. Too much corn syrup for the young ones now. Too much corn
Yes,
syrup.
definitely.
Hate
Too
to
much
say it.
cornbread, too much snacks.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, but too much of the fake hair too, ladies. You know, you young, you teens and 20s. You know, don't get me wrong, but your mama was hotter.
Mm-hmm.
Hate to say it, but your mama was hotter.
Definitely.
It pains me to say it. I was there. I know your mama. Your mama was hotter. I hate to bring it up. It pains me. But yeah, your mama was
And I
hotter.
noticed they didn't really wear any makeup back then. They had the natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Natural hair,
much
natural bodies, and all that. Through all of your Instagrams and facey spaces and all that stuff, your mama was hotter.
pretty much.
Just, you know, now she's not now, but your mama was hotter. Like, that's, you know.
Yeah.
I hate to, you know, there's no polite way to say that. I was in the 90s. It's true. You know.
Like literally nobody was fat.
Yeah. Well, it had a different definition with fat. Like what they called fat wouldn't be considered fat now.
It would be considered what it would be considered thick now.
Yeah, exactly.
They were thick, but now it's fat.
Exactly. Well, because remember you probably didn't see this movie, but the first Friday, and she was like, Janet Jackson. They say I look like Janet Jackson. And then so that chick, like that's what was made fun of back then. We made fun of that back then in the 90s. Because remember, that was in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Tucker was like, not a goddamn thing. The thought of a brother getting with a fat chick is just so ridiculous. Back then, back in the days, when I was just a little nigger. No, okay, but
mind you, she wouldn't even be considered fat now.
Oh, she would just be like big. And, yeah, exactly. Like there'll be a fatter chick that just calls her skinny. Like that's how, you know, but
facts.
But that's how, see, in the 90s, we had the ability and right to shame. We had Shanae, we had Wanda. Back then, we were not afraid to say a woman is subpar.
Mm-hmm.
But now things have changed.
Oh, you get in a lot of trouble. Oh, you're fat shaming, you're body shaming,
you're wig shaming, it's colorism. Yeah, you get all that pushback. Exactly.
Pretty much.
Exactly. So yeah, make shaming great again. Something.
I think shaming was the best thing that happened.
And now almost all of them are like that. It's like, dang.
Because shaming helps you fix yourself, you know?
But they didn't fix it. They multiplied. It's weird.
Yeah, that's true.
But okay, so anyway, so Pop was in the next room hating, and so now throughout this movie there is a theme, and the fellas seem to always come in three. So this dude right here in the gray, he had his group of three. It was him, the dude right here with the hat on, that's later gonna bump into the table all the time, and there was another dude that fell asleep. So he walks up to this chick right here, the dark-skinned chick, the apparent hottest one in the room. She is the prize. All the fellas are trying to get at her, and then Play comes in, and he does block. He does C block this dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is something that that definitely happened. See, they didn't really have. I mean, was he really a Pookie type? I know he was. I know he was drunk, but was he really a Pookie type? Because they didn't really have like Pookie as we understand it now. But
yeah, he's more of a Tyrone.
Well, he's a dude in a suit jacket at a party.
Yeah, I would call him a Tyrone, definitely.
Say that again?
I would definitely consider him a Tyrone.
Does he drink?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was asking because he drinks. Why would you consider him a Tyrone?
Because he's in a suit. Because he's a step above a Pookie and Ray Ray. Maybe you can educate me on what a Tyrone is, because I just thought it was just like a step above Pookie and Ray Ray.
Tyrone is something that the white red pillars call handsome black dudes.
Oh, okay. So he's not a Tyrone then.
Okay. But whatever happened, he got blocked. Play just swooped in and blocked them. He dirty macked, whatever you want to call it. He blocked it. Look at the dude on the far left. What the dude with the, oh yeah, we had those back then. We called them DuckTales. I didn't grow mine out that long. It takes like I think that is the result of like 100 haircuts. Like if you don't cut that particular section of your hair 100 times, then you get it like that length. Mine just went out a little bit.
I'm glad that's over, because that was real tacky.
It was an acquired taste. It was an acquired taste. I mean, when you look back at just what older people did, everything is going to look bad. But, well, not everything. I wish chicks had afros. But, yeah. Yeah, looking back, it does seem a little strange.
Yeah. I like the high top thing better.
Oh, oh, my bad. She's saying my left. You talking about what, this dude in the blue? Oh, he's a whatchamacallit. He's a extra that can't help but look at the camera. So yeah, he's one of those dudes.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I think she's talking about this dude in the blue here.
No, yeah, I can see that because he keeps looking over.
Yeah, I guess they probably wrote it so he's looking at Shireen.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, because she's supposed to be hot.
Exactly.
I get what you're saying.
But it does look as if he's looking at the camera.
Right.
So now, Bilal, played by Martin Lawrence, and here's Gina.
Dragon Breath.
Yeah, on this set. Yeah, he had a problem, which is very strange because whether it's poor hygiene, genetics, or just something strange going on, but his breath constantly stank. Constantly. And even though he was made fun of, he refused to do anything about it. Or he did, and it just didn't take place. Like, once he got to his friend's house, he could have asked to use a mouthwash, brush your teeth with your finger, or
carry Altoids and gum.
Yeah, exactly. But even if you found out about it at the party and you find yourself gumless, like, you know, just brush your teeth with your finger or something. He could have done something about it. But he just stuck with it. Yeah. So Charles Merchant's right. It could be that he has like a hole in his tooth.
That can be it. Yeah, cavity, or he need a root canal.
Yeah, like he needs a root canal or something like that. Because this is his nickname. This isn't something that happened like one bad night. One bad night he got caught slipping. This is something that all the girls has a reputation of, and that's why she has that look on her face, like, oh, this guy, he is breathing his breath. Exactly. And it seems like he would get play otherwise. Like, that is his flaw. He has a crew. His boys get with the top girls, and he's the DJ at the party. He's the center of attention, and it seems like he otherwise would have his pick, but that breath though.
And don't forget, Martin is short too.
And he's a short dude.
Yeah.
Now, that's not always the hindrance. I understand it's a disadvantage, but that's not always the hindrance that a lot of shorter dudes make it out to be. I know this because I've had short friends who are very successful, more so than me, with the ladies.
Yeah.
So it's not that cut and dry, but it doesn't work to your favor. And I think in most cases, and this is where I do agree with like people like Obsidian and Edward Anderson. This is where I agree with people like that, is that even if they do, even if they are interested, they're making an exception because everything else is on point. So it's more like, okay, this is a short dude. I'll date him because he's cute and short, but I do wish he was taller. So it's kind of like that. Like, they wish he was taller, but they're accepting it. They're tolerating the size, and as opposed to lusting after it. So I get that. I get that complaint, but I don't think they would hinder him because he has like a lot of social capital outside of that.
It just seems like all the comedians, they get on themselves for being short, like Kevin Hart, Martin, people like that.
Well, you got to have something wrong with you if you're going to be a comedian, or else it doesn't take. So I want you, ladies, to imagine if Boris Kodjoe was a comedian. Could you really laugh at somebody you want to fuck?
No. Yeah, Eddie Murphy was cute, though, and we laughed at him.
But he wasn't just all out jawline.
True.
And Eddie Murphy was extremely funny. But, that's why I say Boris Kodjoe. Like, if Boris Kodjoe, was a comedian, you don't laugh at somebody you want to fuck. You just, it's not even funny. You're not thinking about that,
Yeah.
Like, and fellas, like a comedian can't be like super swole either. You're not gonna laugh at somebody that whoop your ass. Like, what the hell?
True.
So you have to be like a certain type to be a comedian, and Martin Lawrence fit the bill.
Yep.
All right. So now they come out and then they get challenged. They get challenged to a dance-off.
My favorite part of the movie.
Huh? Yeah. This is everybody's favorite part of the movie. And believe it or not, you weren't there, but believe it or not, a lot of fellas tried to mimic this. But we didn't put in the time because it started to feel fun. At least I didn't. Maybe there's those dudes out there, the future ushers of the world, that actually pulled it off. But we did try to mimic it a little bit, but it just didn't go. This is when they did like the foot thing, and that happened. Now, so this scene right here, this scene that's coming up. Notice he's with the dark-skinned girl right here, right? Oh, my bad. I'm taking over. Go ahead. Say you have something on your mind about the dance scene, Melody?
No, I was just saying that's my favorite part of the movie. I feel like back then, because even my sister, she's around you guys' age, and she can dance. So I feel like back then everybody can dance. That's what it seems like.
Dancing did have a different definition in the 90s. And maybe it was because the music is different, but dancing did have a different definition in the 90s, to where now, as I understand it, dancing is dry humping while standing up.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And twerking is also just dry humping with a guy from the back. A guy's literally hitting it from the back while standing up. It's not actually dancing as was understood during this era.
Well, I feel like everything has gotten dumbed down. Singing, rapping, dancing. It's like it seems like everything changed. It's talent. No talent like it was back then. It seems like.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't know why that is, but I do agree.
Yeah.
So, grind on it. Yeah, exactly. That's what's dancing nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So at this scene here, what Martin Lawrence, the DJ, is doing is he's yelling the word switch. Now, when he yells the word switch, you switch partners that you are dancing with.
Was that really a thing?
Not that I know of. I mean,
Okay.
it probably became a thing after this movie. Because I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really at the partying age when this movie came out. It probably became a thing and then, became played by the time I actually went to like high school teenager parties.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I know, it wasn't a thing. And it may have been like before my time.
Right.
Yeah. So the DJ was yelling switch, and then you switch partners. Now you look at the expression on Kid's face when he is with the dark-skinned chick here. And then you look, hold on. Let me see if I could get that one thing. Okay, here it is. Hold on. Okay. Now look at him with this chick. He's looking at this chick here. Now, I want to point something out. This is her. Throughout the movie, this is the second time he found himself dancing with this particular young lady. By the way, look at the background chicks for a second. And I'm telling you, they were
all
just
hot
back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, but look at this chick here. There's really nothing wrong with her, but for whatever reason, it seems like to Kid, this was the ugliest chick alive. And there's nothing wrong. She's cute to me. But to Kid, this was like the ugliest chick alive. And to me, in some ways, she's cuter than Sydney and Shireen. But maybe it's me. Maybe it's just me. Yeah. So he's trying to get the DJ to switch, but Bilal won't do it, and he's stuck with this girl here. That's just, I don't know. That's just what happened. Oh, all right.
Well, it makes sense why, because he wanted to hurry up and dance with the other two girls because he was crushing on them.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, like, the chicks, sometimes you be happy what you got when what you got is nice. She seemed nice. But I will say this, from what I remember from high school, a young lady's social standing did a lot. It was a lot because it added to your bragging rights as a young man. So perhaps and it didn't necessarily override looks, but it was almost as important as looks. Meaning you wanted to have the best looks and social standing within the high school that you're in. And that gave you superior bragging rights amongst your friends, which was very important. So yeah. So maybe she's, in spite of what she looks like, she just was a girl of low social standing. And there were those who exist pretty, but still low social standing. Women like that exist. Like stuff like that is not important in adulthood, but high school world is different.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So here's his pop. I'm not gonna call him pop, I'm gonna call it his pop. This is Kid's pop. And Kid's pop is waiting. He's waiting. He's itching to whoop some ass because he has that look. He has that James Evans look. He's waiting to do that. And he said, I'm gonna give him a minute to come back. And he said a minute never took that long. And now he took to the street and he's walking angry Now, he probably has a car, but he's so pissed that he wants to walk up to a pass. That's what he wants to do. He wants to walk up to do it. And then he comes across the cops. He does the whole Rodney King thing, but, you know, he's the strong black father figure, and he not going to take no crap like that. And the cops back off. So kids in the party. Kid asked the darker-skinned woman to dance first. And that made the darker-skinned woman, Shireen, to dance first. And that made Sydney jealous. Now, fellas, I was that kind of stupid when I was young. I was several kinds of stupid when I was young. And in some ways, I'm still stupid. I was several kinds of stupid when I was young. I would take like a 9.1 that wasn't giving me choosing signals over a 9 that was. See, I didn't care like that because I'm stupid. So I would say, you know, okay, this girl who's pretty, she's definitely into me. Why not take the sure thing? I didn't think like that. I was saying I'm going to go after the top bitch. And fellas, y'all know y'all made that mistake. I'm sure a lot of you have. You know, maybe some of you were wiser than I was, but nah, I went. Yeah, I did that. So, and that's what he did. That's the mistake he made. And he found himself sitting down next to Sydney, who refused to dance with him because, you know, the women don't like being second choice. Women don't like being second choice. Don't ask a chick. Don't ask her friend first and then ask her. And believe me, I used to be that stupid. Melly, you ever have a guy try to pull some crap like that?
On me,
Maybe
no.
not on you. Maybe not on you, but with you. Like he asked you, you say no, and then he asked your friend.
Yes, that happened.
And what was her response?
I was always the first choice, though. I mean, it depends on who I'm with. If she was desperate, she would be like, okay. But if not, then we would just walk off. But this was like back in high school, you know.
Yeah.
Not as an adult.
And speaking of which, speaking of being that stupid, right? Shout out to Obsidian. So people look at his prom story. People look at his prom story as him getting rejected 12 times. But in actuality, that's not how it goes down. In real life, once the first chick rejects you, it's over. It is over. It's done with. Because the second chick is not going to say yes, knowing that the first chick already rejected you. So as any subsequent chick he asked after that was a losing endeavor. Even if they wanted to go with him before, they were still going to say no because they're now a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th choice.
Unless they don't know that they're the
women
third, fourth,
always
fifth,
know because they gossip.
That's true.
And even if she don't know, they're going to tell her later.
That's true. At that point, you have to get someone outside of the school.
Outside of the school, exactly.
Pretty much.
Exactly. Your school privileges. The girls in that school privileges, your privileges with them are gone. They'll sooner go by themselves than to have some other chick saying, "Oh, you taking my leftovers" or something like that. Because that's what you're offering. But you see, we don't know that as young men. So this is not a shot at Obsidian. We don't know that as young men. You know. I mean, to us, it's a fresh new ask. It's a fresh new ask with a clean slate, and why wouldn't she say yes? But to them, it's like you such and such leftovers, and I'm not going to take such and such leftovers. So it's not actually 12 individual rejections. It's just like one, and the side effect, the domino effect of that.
Yeah, it just trickles down.
Yeah, it just trickled down to like it could have been 20. Like no matter what, it was already done at that point. So yeah, shout out to Obsidian on that. That's something that a lot of people overlook. But anyway, that's what Kid is going through right now. He's trying to pull out of that tar pit. All right, so let's go further. So apparently he is hooking up with this chick who earlier in the movie called him Dragon Breath. Now maybe she's doing it to be nice, and maybe she's not. So this is the Nagagas trying to come to the party. Now, I want y'all to note something here. Everybody else, the fellas, right? All the fellas are dressed reasonably within some sort of dress code. They all have a collar on their shirt of some sort. Some of them even have suit jackets and stuff like that. They have like they have a more professional dress demeanor, even as young men. Even as young men, this is how they choose to present themselves to the world. While, full force, they on some t-shirt shit.
Yo, is that a blouse?
What?
What's up with that blouse you have on?
I don't know what's going on. No, yeah. I don't know what's going on. Wait, you're talking about him right here with the ripped shirt?
Yeah, like that looked like a blouse, and yeah, it looks bad.
Yeah, this was before my time. But maybe that's what muscle dudes did back then.
Maybe.
They're like, ooh, I'm gonna make a hole in my shirt so you can see more muscles and stuff. And
right.
Muscles but see, notice he has the ponytail as well.
Oh, the little rat tail thingy?
Well, we call it ducktail, but his is longer. Ducktail. But yeah, or his is fuller. But yeah, he has that too.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. I mean, seems like a fat person could rock that. You're a very weird person, Tony Braxton. You're very weird. All right. Anyway, now this is why I don't like Kid, because he's that type of stupid. I wasn't this stupid in high school. Like I would go after the slightly hotter chick over the one that's actually interested, but he did for real stupid crap. Now, hold on. See, when they was walking away, he decides to open the door and talk some more shit. He opens the door to talk more shit. He has a habit of doing that. Like he forgets that he got to go back to school with a Monday. This fool never thinks about the ass whooping to come. He always he don't remember the earlier in the morning ass whooping.
Right.
And why did he do this? Why did he do this? You talk shit behind the safety of a wooden door, like not thinking like you're gonna have to see these dudes again. Life
He's gonna have to leave the party. He's gonna have to leave the party too.
Exactly. Life is long. Like it's and you go to school with them. You go to school with them. They seem to be in your neighborhood patrolling the block regularly. So he antagonizes and then he yells bully when they hold him in the air and whip his ass. It's like, if you ever wonder why you find yourself in situations where you're constantly getting your ass whipped by dark-skinned people, that's why. You have anything?
No, yeah, he definitely caused that whole thing where they wanted to burn the house. Well, I'm going too far, right?
Yeah, we haven't got there yet.
Okay, yeah, he caused it. Whatever happened next.
Yeah. Exactly, Dane. The Friday people know better. When he gone, I'll be talking again.
Mm-hmm. They knew with Debo. They wasn't playing with him.
Exactly. I'll be talking again when he gone. It's like, look, unless you're gonna do it, Craig, don't talk crap and then slam the door. What's wrong with you?
Can we do that for movie night one day?
What, Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do Friday for movie night. Oh, by the way, people, movie night is tonight. Is tonight at 5:55 PST and 8:55 EST. So the movie tonight is Diary of a Mad Black Woman. So stay tuned for that. We'll be watching that. I'll put the Zoom link out there, and I'll pin it up for everybody. Once again, it'll be shortly after this. So that's movie night. Shout out to Danica Marie. Appreciate you. Great show. Check her out. Great show. Great book. All right. So Kid's one of those people. He like to talk shit when the door is closed, and they ready to whoop some ass. He's gonna try to burn the house, and while they just, as the people come running out, I guess hit him with the bat and crap. Right. That was his plan. And the cops catch him. And remember, this was like right after the Rodney King thing, and the whole crooked cop narrative, or the whole racist cop narrative and everything. So what they're doing is they're taking these guys. They're supposed to take the guys in, but instead they're going to take them to the docks for some baton work. Your thoughts, Melody?
Yeah, I heard that's what they used to do a lot back in the day.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah,
that's what I heard too. I never actually seen it, but I heard it, and I hear it primarily from people who's about that life. So,
right.
that they got it. I mean, I'm a nerd. Not only that, I'm a nerd in appearance and dress, I should say. So, they didn't see need to do stuff like that with me, I guess.
Exactly. They did it more for like Pookies, Ray Rays, and Thugs.
Yeah, probably. Like they see these three muscle dudes and like, something, this is some good baton work.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I heard stories about them throwing people in water after they beat them up, leaving them for dead. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So anyway, let me continue. All right, so he comes back to the party. I'm trying to get to the part where okay, so right now they have their rap off. They take turns, and they both have the microphone. They both say they both spit their lyrics. You have any thoughts on that?
The rap off, yeah. I felt like Kid rapped a lot better than Play. I tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Like his lyrics and everything were a lot better, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, not much there. Even though the rap itself, you got to hear it. For those of you that haven't seen it, make sure you check the movie out. But you got to hear it. But it was pretty good. It was clean. This was actually before the gangster rap started taking out. This was before NWA. In fact, that was like the beginning of the end of this type of music. The more Will Smith, Kid and Play, Public Enemy type music. That was kind of like the end of the more wholesome thing, and society, as well as everything else, moved in a different direction. Now, Play is taking the dude home, the one that you said looked like a thug, the dude in the gray.
Yeah.
He's about to take him home because he's drunk. And with Play gone, kids see this as an opportunity to move. So Play and this dude with the hat, Chill, is about to take the dude home because he's drunk. He's on that what do you call it, monkey oil, and yeah, they're about to take him home. So Play's out of the house, and Kid decides to move up. Oh, by the way, this Nagaga, for whatever reason, throughout the whole movie, he just keep bumping the table, which pisses Bilal off. It like he this is like the third time he bumped the DJ table. So, they have words, but it ended when Play grabbed him to take dude home. And Kid sees this as an opportunity to make his move on the dark-skinned chick. And she's all in his face. Now, ladies, and maybe fellas, y'all can confirm, I prefer gloss over lipstick. And if you wear lipstick, have the gloss over the lipstick. But I mean, listen. Either bare lips with gloss or lipstick with gloss. But no matter what, have the gloss. Because I prefer to shine over the color. I love it when it's glossy.
Same here. I actually don't like lipstick.
Okay.
But everywhere I go, my lips are shiny.
It shines so brightly. Yeah, I don't care if you got to kiss Vaseline, do something, but I like it glossy.
You like it popping.
Yeah, exactly,
Lip gloss
exactly.
is
Like,
popping.
what's her name? The Will Smith daughter. Yeah, when she said that lip gloss be
It's
popping. Yeah,
popping, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Lip gloss over lipstick. Yeah, when they put the lipstick on and then they make it glossy, or maybe it's just glossy lipstick. I don't know what women do,
It
but
comes glossy already.
oh, the lipstick comes glossy. Okay, then glossy
Yes.
lipstick. Yeah. So whatever, but just I don't care what you do, just as long as it gloss afterwards. Just as long as it gloss afterwards, then I'm okay. Tanika said, "Keep getting on my teeth." Yeah, see, if you get the gloss on the teeth, nobody will know. But yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Denika's funny.
you guys, the fellas, and your thing. I could be alone in this, but I like the glossy. So I tell you some famous scenes from back in my day when it was glossy. That chick on Boys in the Hood, where Trey was, she said, "I want to drive it," and she was, talking to him with her lips, and it was glossy. I like that. I like that scene from Baby Boy when she was like, "Come get this pussy," and it was glossy. I like that. Don't get me wrong. She was a bad chick in her own rights. Like cornrows, I wish they bring that back in style. Cornrows was the stuff. But she said it with the glossiness. Everything. And notice how in the movies they focus on the lips when they glossy. Look at how they focus on her lips right now.
Yeah. It brings out the lips and make them look more plump, definitely.
Exactly. So yeah, hey, ladies, we like the gloss. Fellas, let the ladies know we like that gloss. All right. So he's getting at her. They about to go into the coat room. So he could run his thing. Play is dropping this dude off. He's drunk, and they don't care. So what they gonna do is they're gonna put him at the door, stand him up, ring the doorbell, and run.
Which is so lame.
It's
That was
lame
wrong.
because you got to keep in mind he don't want his parents to know that he's drunk. I don't know what his plan was, but that this is somewhat snitching. This is somewhat snitching. Play did a lot of foul stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
First he let his boy get beat, just a complete one-sided, three-sided ass whooping, and then stuff like this.
Don't forget about what he did to Bilal when he was bringing his DJ equipment out.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
So he just shoves the equipment in, he kicks it, he scratches it up, he just messes it up, and he keeps Bilal waiting forever.
Yeah.
He keeps Bilal waiting for him forever. And then he's like, "Look at the ladies in the car." But the worst thing they're doing to Bilal is not telling him about his breath. Apparently, this is a major hindrance in his social life, and they're just not telling him. They're not, they're not letting him know. It's weird.
But they were letting them know, though. The
No,
females
Play
was letting
wasn't
them
letting
know.
him know.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
Play
no.
or Kid. Like Bilal should have told him that before he even got him in the car. Like, look, you want to take care of that before you come. I got ladies in the car. They're talking about you behind your back. They're spreading rumors. That's
Right. Brush his
rumors because
teeth.
it's true.
Right. And he was at home. All he had to do was brush his teeth and wash his mouth out. Pop some
Exactly.
gum in his mouth.
And just say it politely. Like, all right, I'm gonna be in the car, talking to these ladies. Your equipment is already at the place. Now all you gotta do is brush your teeth and then we'll be gone. Just say it like that. Just kind of like throw it in there politely. Nah, they just let them rock the dirty breath.
Yeah, that was foul.
It is foul, yeah. And then they do some crap like this to homeboy, and then the pop come. And then the pop come. He comes checking all the kids, like y'all see my boy? Where my boy at? This is the worst case scenario of social life ever, especially if he's there. Because if he was there, so kid is upstairs, but if he was downstairs, he would have whooped his ass in front of everybody.
Yep. I was going to say that. He's that type of dad.
He is that type of dad. He would have whipped his ass in front of everybody if he just so happened to be downstairs. If I was downstairs, I would have just ran out the back door. I don't care. It's more embarrassing to run from your pop than to get your ass whipped by him in front of everybody. And since you're young, you're faster. And he got like a dad body. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I like
So
the
with absence of an ass to whoop, he just starts talking shit about everybody. He talked about this dude, Jerry Curl. That's Ezel. That's the dope fiend from Friday. He from the town too. Talk about that guy. He talk about this dude. He says his name is Clinton X, and he said Clint X. He told him to give me 2 bean pies and a pork chop sandwich. Like he just goes in and clowns everybody. And he has the yellowed eyes of a chronic drinker. And the eyelid muscles of someone who drinks a lot. So he does look like he's on that binge. Like,
but wasn't he sick?
Yeah, but I think in addition to whatever sickness he had that. I tell by his physique that he drinks a lot.
Right.
I could tell by his physique that he drinks a lot. So he goes in checking everybody. Look at his eyes.
Yeah, he do have those drunk eyes.
Yeah. He just checked the entire party, and then he comes to her. He comes to the light-skinned girl. Now, she is protecting Kid. She protects Kid from the dad, from the beat-ass dad, right? And she says that nobody can go upstairs because of the carpet and stuff like that, even though Kid and the other chick is up there getting their coats. You have anything on that, Melody?
Yeah, I was going to say, she's a good friend because even though she was jealous, she still saved them.
Now, do you think that because she's light-skinned, do you think that's why they gave her the good girl role and they gave the dark-skinned one the pretty girl role, but she's kind of, she's
from the project.
She's not as nice. Well, she's from the project too, but she's not as nice. Like one is nice and cute, and the other one is just overtly beautiful and not as nice. So do you think that has something to do with skin complexion?
You know what? Actually, yes, I do.
Okay. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, because I think sometimes directors do pick people according to like what they look like. Like, and she does look like the sweet, cute, light-skinned girl who don't want nobody to get in trouble. She looks innocent. And then the other one, what's her name? Shireen. She looks like the more cocky, attitude. That's what she looked like. So I think they did give them the roles on purpose.
Okay. So would you say that classifies colorism, what they talk about?
That may have been colorism, but who knows?
Okay. All right. Let me. So she does that, and then the father leaves. But I mean, he's just stirring up the ass whooping to come. Now, hold on. Let me show y'all fellas something. Look at what happens here. Look at that boob there, fellas. She is not a booby woman. I know this because of the movie Baby Boy. Sometimes when you press underneath it, it gives the illusion of more. But I think that this is just an illusion. I want y'all to prepare for like such illusions. So they're getting friendly. They're getting mighty friendly in the room while the dad is downstairs. And then Sydney walks in, and she don't like that. She don't like that. She's upset. Fellas, you got to take the sure thing. Even though this one, the dark-skinned one, Shireen's lips is a little bit glossier, what's wrong with Sydney? What's wrong with Sydney? All right. So, moving on. And he's still trying after Sydney. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sydney lives in the projects. She lives in the projects, and it's all kind of stuff. And it was suggested that he shouldn't mess with her because she is a project chick. And his father is overbearing and he doesn't have the privacy that he needs. Somebody is always in her house. She has like 8 people living in a 2-bedroom apartment, it looks like, or a 1-bedroom apartment in the project. So, he's not going to get any action that way. Play seems to have a lot more liberty. His parents are gone more, so the project chick could come over to his house. That's what's going on. And he just don't care. He's that type of stupid. I'm telling you, fellas, I used to be this type of stupid. It's obvious that that Sydney wants you more. She is more of a sure thing. What do they say? Like a turkey in a pot is worth more than 2 in a bush.
But you know what? I think opposites attract. That's why he was more attracted to the dark-skinned girl, because he's light-skinned.
But Play was attracted to the dark-skinned girl too.
Yes, that's true.
No, it's not opposites that attract. It's glossiness that attracts.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. So look at the look on her face. So he goes in for a kiss, gets rejected. Oh, that's one of the people that lives in the house. And he's drinking Dick Gregory. But it's called Slim Fast. It's just that I think Boomer's just called it Dick Gregory. He's an extraordinarily fat dude, and he's drinking Slim. What the? You're not doing enough when you're at that size. Like, okay, well, hey, as long as you're on your journey, that's fine. But
yeah, at least he's trying.
Yeah, exactly. Oh crap! I missed the scene where the kid was pouring the Kool-Aid. Ah, damn it.
Oh, when he put all that sugar in the Kool-Aid, yeah.
Yeah. Dang, I missed
that was a funny scene.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes. Dang, should I go? No, I'm not gonna go back. It's on the thumbnail. The kid was there pouring all the sugar in the Kool-Aid. All right. So she explains to her friends that she's doing dirt and all that. The dark-skinned one, she's trying to set it up so she can have both of them. It's all kind of dirty stuff going on. And the light-skinned one is the good girl, and they have their girl talk. They're meeting in the ladies' room, and there you go. I want to point out something. You see this? There are no good report cards on this refrigerator. There are no good report cards on this refrigerator, or nothing of the sort. No artwork or anything. It's just old letters with magnets on the back.
Was that how all refrigerators were in the projects?
No, I had good report cards, but I wasn't in the project. We were just poor. I was in an apartment building, but we was just poor. But but I'm just saying, like that's the thing to point out. So hold on. So he tries to walk her home, and she wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. This is like the third time. This is like the third time that he made her second choice that night. She was not having it at all. And he's trying to explain himself. He's trying to talk his way into it, and he finally does. Wait. No. Let me back up something. Let me get this scene right here. Now, remember how I said before, they always come in 3 in this movie. That the fellas always come in 3. So right here, you have another group of 3 fellas. You have this one, and the one in the back. Somebody took a shit and didn't flush the toilet. And the toilet was broken. And this pissed Play off because his parents don't know he's having a party, and nothing is going to be worse because what are you going to do? Like, if it spreads throughout the entire house. It's an unflushed toilet, and the water is going to dilute it, and it's just awful. In every way you could think, it's awful. And he's stuck in this position. So I get it. It's messed up, and they were apathetic to it. Their thing was to just leave the party or leave the bathroom and go out and party. Now, what you see from the dude in the black is the beginning of a change in style. This is what the hairstyle was moving towards. After this, then that's when the fellas start getting the low-cut Caesars with the deep waves. Melly, your thoughts on the toilet scene?
The toilet scene, I think, was just like crazy and disgusting. Like, to just leave somebody's bathroom like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what else happened after that. So basically, they were in the bathroom. They messed up the bathroom, right? He came in there. He cursed them out. And what happened after that? I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, all over the
He
place.
no worries. He canceled the party.
Right. Okay.
He canceled the party. He's like, you know what? Party's over.
Right.
And that was that. And yeah. So he ended the party, kicked everybody out. Kid is working his magic, his light skin magic on this chick. And so they're about to get into it. And then the topic of birth control comes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for whatever reason, kid had like a really old condom in his possession. And y'all see that? You see, this is what, and this is why she wasn't the hottest. But they didn't want her to be the hottest. They wanted her to be the most innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see how glossy her lips aren't?
Yeah.
You see how glossy her lips aren't? How much her lips don't shine? Like, so they put the extra shine on the one that they wanted to be sexier. They gave her the shiny lip gloss and shiny lipstick, and they left her with regular lips.
Well, the other one's lips were a lot fuller than hers, too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's nothing like glossy full lips. And I'm saying, like, they played her down, is what I'm saying. They played Tisha Campbell down in this movie. So she could be like the innocent but less pretty than Shireen. They were playing up Shireen's looks.
Yeah.
And they were playing up Tisha Campbell's innocence. So that's why oh, hold on right quick. All right, Mr. Fantastic, thanks a lot. It says for the foot message.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
Oh, the boot eating manuals ain't my type of hype, baby. Oh man. The foot message, exactly. So I guess that's the game now, foot messages. But anyway, thanks a lot, Fantastic. So they played up her innocence, right? And then they're talking about birth control, and he's just like this upstanding guy, like, oh, he's the birth control guy. The light-skinned guy is the birth control guy, and light-skinned people get together and talk about responsible sex, and dark-skinned people get together and just get it, right? So that's what they're trying to paint the scene as. That's what they're doing right now. They're painting the scene as the light-skinned being innocent. So the colorism people are on to something with that, because they are painting like this innocence that comes with both light-skinned men and women. They're responsible and stuff. And he asked her, "Are you on a diaphragm?" And she said no. Now, for those of you who don't know, they had back in the day, they had birth controls that don't necessarily exist anymore. For whatever reason, maybe they cause sickness of some sort, but they had birth control methods then that don't necessarily exist now. And he was asking for that. One of those are the sponges. I don't know why it's gone, but it's gone. Right. And she's not on it. Now, this is something in my youth I didn't understand. And at present, I don't understand. And maybe somebody in the chat room can help me with it. He said, "Hey, Sydney, have you ever?" And then she said, "No, I never know." What was she saying no to? Was she saying no to oral, or was she saying no to anal?
I think maybe anal, because everybody did oral. So
the 90s was different, though. The 90s was different. So they would do oral, but they just didn't talk about it. Oh, he was talking about pull out. Maybe that's it. Maybe he was talking about pull out. Like, have you ever tried the pull out thing? Yeah, don't try to pull out. But in the 90s, black girls did oral, but they didn't talk about it. Like, you had to build a ridiculous level of trust with them. They did not want their girls to find out that that's what they did.
But that's why the black man went to Becky, because Becky did it with no problem.
Becky didn't have a reputation. Right. You see, so people, as everybody know, I'm from Oakland. Oakland is a chocolate city surrounded by regular cities. like San Francisco, San Jose, like all of Silicon Valley. You know, we're a chocolate city surrounded by regular cities. So what does that mean? That means that young ladies can hop on BART, come, find some BBC, and do whatever, and then go back to their suburb with their reputation intact. You see, they're in different circles, so they don't have to worry about their reputation. They can do all kinds of stuff that they won't do with Brad because it won't get back to their circle, because they go to like a completely different Sweet Valley High type stuff. So from our perspective, it did seem like they do more, but you know, they didn't have to worry about, you know, me telling them, so what if I told all my boys? What that mean to her? You know, like that don't mean nothing. So, you know, that go for it.
I'm sorry. The same thing went for men. You guys did not want people to know that you licked, you know.
This is true. This is true. So what I'm saying is, if it was oral, she probably was like, no, I never know, to because there was on that protect my reputation type thing going on there. But whatever he was suggesting, she said no. I think brother was on to someone. He said pull out. So, you know, then she gives the comforting shoulder kiss. And see, and this is where things started to change. Because as y'all know, at this time in my life, all of my crushes were darker skin. There was Cherry from Punky Brewster. There was Ashley from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There was Rudy Huxtable. You know, there was Lisa Turtle. Like there was Tootie from Facts of Life. All of my crushes was darker skin.
Don't forget Chili from TLC.
And Chili from TLC, exactly. But when this happened, because you see, as a young man, you didn't see too many panties, and they were black. And they were black. So that just, I went through the whole bottle of lotion on that. Like that right there, I was like, oh my God. And that just put like light-skinned women in a whole new realm for me. A whole new realm. Now, you young cats are used to like OnlyFans or just like you know, no parental guard on Pornhub or whatever, however y'all get it like that, right? We didn't have all that. We didn't have all that back in the day. Like this and Shaka Zulu was the best we had. This and Shaka Zulu was the best we had. That was the best that just put our imagination in a frenzy. And the fact that it was black, oh my God. So, you know, and that just overrid all the shiny lipstick in the world. Like that overdoes the lipstick gloss and everything. Like this scene right here.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, I was a kid. Of course I like that. You know, like I was a kid. I was like, oh, and it came like out of nowhere. It just popped out of nowhere, like, oh crap. Like, oh, this is a thing. This is happening. Like, I was like, oh, dang, you know, because and before this scene right here, the darker skinned chick was the hot one. You know, was slightly hotter, but after this, it's like, oh no, dark skin who? Like,
you didn't even see her anymore, huh?
Exactly.
That was it.
And fellas, if I could, I'm be honest, and y'all tell me if y'all feel the same way. If I could delete all of my sexual experience, right, and like all of the stuff that I've seen in my life, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot more than this, of course, but you know, I've seen a lot. If I could just like delete that from my brain and recapture like the first time you actually seen the chick like take off the shirt. Like just recapture that moment. I'm not talking about on TV. I'm talking about in real life. If you could just like recapture that excitement again, oh my God, that would be so lovely. You know, like just recapture your first time.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, you can't. And you know, now you see black panties, it's like, oh, these again. But
right. You've seen them too much.
Exactly. But you know, but that's what people like in like those Muslim countries, that's how they got it. Like they be like 30 and stuff, and they just seen black panties and a chick's ankle because chicks walk around in carpet and stuff. Like, so I know they get super excited.
Oh yeah.
They like unwrapping Christmas kids presents. Like they like, oh, when they get married, they like, oh, finally, and
Yeah,
it's
because
black.
it leaves a lot to the imagination.
Exactly.
Those hijabs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So that happened. The parents come home and she does this good girl routine. These dudes, for whatever reason, these nagagas is still circling the block looking for light skinned dudes to beat up.
Yeah, this movie was full of colorist stuff, I would say.
True.
Full of
True.
it.
All right. So for whatever reason, these weird dudes was having a vacuum cleaner and a hair dryer and stuff in one shoe. I don't know what was going on there. So all their shenanigans, yeah, it's full force. Yeah. All their shenanigans have led Kid to jail, right? And this is another reason why I don't like him. Why I don't like it's not that I don't like him, but he does a lot of stuff. He does a lot of stuff that just makes you, not like him. So now they're locked up and they finally have the chance to whoop his ass again, but they give him a pass because it's like he's been through too much.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets on the phone with Play asking them for bail money. They don't say how much it is in 1990s money, but apparently they don't have enough, and they go and ask the girls. Now, the moment he gets off the phone, this is what's waiting for him, and they all staring at him. I'm telling you, kid, this is my worst nightmare. That's my worst nightmare, being violated in prison.
I was gonna say, and it seems like he's the sweet light-skinned one with a lot of hair, and that's the one they want.
But this is the light skin. He's a light skinned dude too.
Yeah, but he's the lightest. And you know what they say?
The lightest skin penis.
Yeah.
So of the light skinned dude here,
he's the lightest.
How this is going to end.
Facts.
Oh crap!
Oh yeah. He looks so sweet and innocent.
Oh man.
Hair.
You know what they're gonna try to do? They're gonna try to turn him into Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna try to turn him into his girlfriend, the light skinned chick. They're gonna make him wear the black panties.
Word.
Oh crap.
Facts.
Oh man. Look at how they looking at him.
Yeah, they wanted that.
Yeah. Look at how big. Look how big this dude is. Like it's fat big. Like you wouldn't even worry if it was just like one of them. But it's like a whole crew of dudes.
Yeah. But it's scary even if one of them dudes come at you. Let's be real.
Well, not the fat one. No, not the fat one. Because you can stick and move him. Like one of them is fine because it never happened. Let's be clear. It never happened, but I'm assuming that that the actual full action of prison booty taken, prison booty warriorness, I'm pretty sure that this is a more than one man job. Because it's like so much struggling and fighting, and you fighting to your very last breath. Like you are just fighting with every inch of your life. One man, no matter how big, can't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does seem like a 3 or more dude action. Like somebody has to be holding every single limb. That's what it is. Somebody has to hold down every single limb.
Don't they call them booty bandits?
Yeah, I guess they probably have all sorts of names.
Booty bandits.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And he's the light skinnedest. And with the longest hair.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's in this situation. They try to convince the girls to come, but she lives in the projects, and they're trying to get them to come and chip into the pot. And this is another thing. This is another way that Play did him dirty. He's seen he's seen Bilal come running out of the projects, and he tries to take off.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, he tries to take off and leave him there to deal with whatever strange is about to happen. So they finally convinced the girls to come, and during this time they're telling what they did, be the policeman with his own club, violent killing spree. Maybe I'll eat your cornbread, type deal. This one got an eye patch,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, they just ready for some booty. He wants to look at it with his good eye.
Booty bandits.
Yeah, exactly. So they're coming to get the they're coming to get the bail money for him,
Yeah.
and he asked for hookup, and she won't do it because his breath stink. Like it's bad. It's bad in every way that things can be bad. So they let me see. So now they're drawing straws on, I guess, who gets to go first. They're drawing straws on who gets to go first, and what can he do? Like what can he do? Like the best you can do is grab the straws and throw them down so they can start again.
Yeah.
But
I wish you could show the scene. It's so funny.
Yeah. So and that's a pen. So he didn't get it. He didn't get it because he's not light-skinned enough.
No.
It's just him. So then he starts to sing his way out of it to distract them and avoid the situation. And then his boys come and bail him out. Now, so after all is said and done, he attempts to seduce Shireen once again. He attempts to seduce Shireen. He goes in for a kiss and gets rejected. But he tells his boys something different. Hold on, I got cash apps. All right. All right, give me a second. Okay, Doug, I greatly appreciate you. Says, he sent the cash up. I appreciate you, brother. And Kick Cloud Kicker, I appreciate you. It says, I got you. I appreciate you, bro. All right, so.
Can you guys try tonight to come to movie night? We have so much fun there.
Oh yeah, let me put that's right. Let me get it from my Google Calendar. Thanks, Melody, for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Zoom link out there.
Yeah, come in. If you guys want to have a good time with us, definitely come to movie night.
Yeah.
We like to bug out, laugh, and then after the movie's over, we talk about what happened. So come through.
There's the link. It's like in 20 minutes, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. And we're coming to an end on this.
Yeah.
So Play didn't get a kiss, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he walks away, but he tells his boys, well, he pretends. He's like, do I have any lipstick on me? And you don't, because you got nothing. You got no play, right? And then, he's a fake game dude. But then he did actually do get some action, some lip action at least, right? And they're watching, and he got the receipts and all that stuff, and then he goes back in the thing. Now, this is where they really get into some dark skin, light skin stuff, because he started to play the stereotypical dark skin black deadbeat role. Like he's on some if she gets pregnant, that's her problem. You mean to tell me you didn't hit it because she didn't have a condom? If she gets pregnant, that's on her. He started pretending to be a dog while Kid was being a good boy, et cetera, et cetera.
Colorism.
Yeah, it was just something strange. It was like too overt. But in all fairness, prior to this movie, there was no track record of it. So, like the stereotype didn't really exist. So it was more like this was like one of the early stages of creating it. But yeah, it was something strange there that later just equated to colorism or whatnot.
Yeah, full of colorism.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so and let's see. So yeah, that's him explaining it. And now this is kind of satisfying. For one, why did he get off like all the way in his drawers? Like he just went completely drawers naked, and then got in the bed. And Pop is just waiting there. He's just waiting there.
Yep.
But an ass whooping. And that is the end of that. All
Yeah.
right. So take us home while I pin the link up.
What about the movie or?
So, well, okay, let's do this because you weren't necessarily there. What's your overall thoughts of the '90s?
Oh man. Well, first of all, I like the fact that the women are more natural.
Mhm.
They're slimmer, they're prettier. No makeup, real bodies. It just seemed more fun. Like it didn't seem well. The girls didn't seem like they were hating on each other. Um, it didn't seem the movie was full of colorism, but I'm saying as far as like real life goes, like with them, it don't seem like they had a problem with each other. The dark skinned girl got along with the light skinned girl. Nobody was
Mhm.
cutting hair. It was just awesome. I like the way they dressed. Yeah, the '90s definitely cool to me, in my
What
opinion.
What about the difference in the fellas? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, the fellas, they seem. I'm not gonna lie, they do seem a little bit more thirstier, if that makes sense.
Well,
Like,
elaborate because what I've seen since then is like 8 dudes standing somewhere yelling at one skirt that goes by that's not even hot.
what you mean in
So
the '90s or now?
no, I mean, well, who's thirstier? I should start there.
Well, from that movie, it looked like everybody was thirsting over the same girl. So, I'm gonna say more than '90s is thirstier, especially because remember we talked about the Pookies and Ray Rays of the '90s.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the Pookies and Ray Rays are the ones who used to hustle on the corners and holler at every girl that walked by, and the things that they were doing.
So, okay, they're all hollering at the same girl. Would you say that they had standards back then? Because it didn't seem because like now it seems like guys are just taking anything with a skirt.
Yeah,
I think Danica was that you that was talking about standards a couple of days ago, or was that Chantel? Like
well,
how fellas need standards. I mean, it seems like the fellas were going after the best in the party.
exactly. Like it was better. It was a better variety of girls to choose from in the '90s, where
Mhm.
now everybody's either fat or weaved up or makeuped up. It's just different. So they had a better variety. That's why they were more thirstier. Plus, they had the R&B and all that, so they were more like in love back then. Like they would fall in love easier. It seems
Mhm.
like.
It was more like romantic and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, Raven, I've been to Kappa Beach Party, but now we E40. Believe it or not, I never met E40. I met Too Short. I never met E40 in person or even directly on stage. Um, yeah, I used to go to Lake Berryessa and then later Lake Comanche, but never came across E40.
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody's saying the '80s were better.
Probably.
It looked like it was better, and I like the '70s too because it looked like their style. They had the afros, the bell bottoms, the disco balls.
I like the dance in the '70s. Like I like the
Mhm.
Soul Train line. That seemed like it was the lick.
It seemed fun. Yeah, it did.
Yeah. That seemed like it was the lick. Y'all see how happy, fellas? We need to initiate standards again. We need to reinitiate standards. We have to like go back in the standard mother motorcycle people. Anyway,
You see motorcycles.
no, I hear it. Y'all don't hear it? Okay, that's good. That's
Mm.
good that y'all don't hear it. But what I want to say.
You
But
was
yeah,
talking
we,
about the
we have to
'70s.
reinitiate standards because, like, you look at the '70s, '80s, and '90s back when brothers had standards and when they used to speak out against it. Like, there was a woman on In Living Color in the '80s called Wanda, played by Jamie Foxx,
Hmm.
and she was like an ugly chick, and brothers were like, nah, I ain't messing with that. They had standards. There was a group of women that brothers refused to accept. They like, listen, I'm a man, I know my worth, and I am not going to reduce myself to such depravity.
Mm.
And they don't say that anymore. Remember, like I said before, that scene when Chris Tucker said, "I'm not getting with Janet Jackson," and then he went to what's her name? Dang, what's her name from the first Friday? Nia Long,
Yeah,
and said,
yeah.
"How could you hook me up with her? You knew she didn't have no hair." We don't even require hair anymore. We don't even require hair. We have become placent with wigs. We have become satisfied with wigs. I had a woman on this very show brag that her wigs cost $800. She was bragging, and she said she had like 40 of them.
That was just disgusting.
She was bragging on, fellas, is this what we reduced ourselves to? Is this what we reduced ourselves to? We're saying, oh, it's a wig, but it's an expensive wig? It's only been 20 years since the 90s. Like what is going on? I look around, I'm like, I can't believe this. Like, there's no shame. Like, they did something. They did something to people to make them put up with this crap. They've been spoon feeding you spam and calling it steak. But I seen the 90s, and it wasn't no crap like that. That's for damn sure. I don't know. But yeah, the standards thing, there's definitely a drift. There's definitely a drift, and something happened to where, it was just intolerable for a man to accept a woman who was overweight with a wig. And now they accept overweight with a wig with 6 kids. They don't care as long as they get in somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And overweight is good like right now. Because it's like, oh, I like my girls with meat on their bones. I like my girls thick. This is what the men are telling them. Then the women are telling the other women, you need to gain weight. It's crazy.
They do that. They do that. It'd be some overweight chick telling a slim chick that to gain weight. To what end?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, listen, if she don't love you, if even if it's your mama, if she tells you to gain weight, there's no guarantee that it'll go to your titties. What is she talking about?
And Black women do tell their kids to gain weight. And it's sad because it's like these kids haven't even gave birth yet. So you're telling them to put meat on their bones, so by the time they give birth, they're really big. It makes no sense.
And you want to know what's worse? And you young chicks, pay attention. You want to know what's worse? They weren't fat.
Nope.
They're telling you to be fat, but they weren't fat. Look at everything in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and there wasn't a fat chick amongst them. They may have gotten fat when they were older, but they were PYTs telling you to be a PFT, a pretty fat thing. They were PYTs telling you to be a PFT. They are setting you up for failure. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is. And fellas, this is on us. Have some standards. Say no. Just because it's given to you, that doesn't mean you should take it.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you should take it. About 5 years ago, actually, better story. For those of y'all who live in the Bay Area, right? And you're old enough to remember where the BART stopped in like Livermore, right? When the BART stopped in Livermore, right next to Santa Rita. So there was, I used to work there. I used to work in that area, and I used to take the BART and then take a shuttle from there. Now, what happens is there's a prison called Santa Rita there, and they would, it's a man and a woman's prison, different, divisions of it. Is one's for the women and one's for the men. Mm-hmm. And like sometimes when I'm on my way to or from work, the prisoners will be getting out, and women's prisoners will be there. And I was like maybe like 19 or something, and they say, they'll say something like, oh, you so cute, and I've been locked up for so long. Like, just because, but no. See, here's the thing. Prison women don't look like the movie prison women. They don't. They look like they just been like locked up with a bunch of stanky women for months. Like they're not appealing, and then they come out feeling an itch or something, and then it's like, no, you have some standards. There has to be a line. See, here's the thing, fellas. There has to be a line. We had this in the 90s. This, when I was a teenager, this was still the 90s. We had this and I wouldn't do it now, or else I'll be that grown man that just goes and wait for women's prison to wait out. Don't get any ideas from that, fellas. Trust me. But no, you have some standards. Just say no, like no, thank you, miss. I'm not interested. Like this is not my thing. I'm on my way to work. I'm young. I'm young. You're old. You're old enough to be a mother, and you did something. For all I know, you lured the last person into some type of trap.
Listen,
There
I
has
had
to be
somebody.
a type of woman that you just simply say no to. I'm not saying say no to any woman with a record or anything like that, but there has to be like a physical type. You have to have some type of standards. Go for it, Melody.
No, I was saying I had somebody in the space tell me they would rather have Lizzo's body type than mine.
Oh,
Someone said that. They was like, "Oh yeah, I like women with meat on their bones. I'll take Lizzo." I'm like, Lizzo, really? Like,
oh
okay.
man.
And it was like, yeah, Lizzo and Gabby Sidibe. I'm like, you need to get your standards together.
It's not meat when it's fat. Like when I eat a steak, you want to get and I know that there's people that like to marble or whatever you call it, but you don't want too fat of a cut of meat that you put in the broiler. You know, you want a nice decent cut of you. What you're eating is the muscle. You're not eating the fat. You don't sit there and just chew on it. You don't sit there and just chew on meat fat. That's not meat on your bone. That's fat on your bones. And it's not
Yeah.
on your bones. It's just like all around everywhere. Yeah.
And
Lizzo, oh God.
you know what their excuse was? I'm from the South. In the South, we like them big. We like meat on our bones.
And actually, you know something, Melody? I do let that slide, the South excuse, because I hear it from so many brothers. Like being in this space, I hear a lot of brothers say, you don't understand. You're from California. You don't understand what it's like out here. So I'm like, okay, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. I never walked across a North Kakalaki strip and just seen nothing but fat chicks. So I don't
Yeah.
know. It could be horrible. It could be like a whole slew of Lizzos out there, and y'all just pick the one that's not your cousin. Who knows? Who am I to judge? I just know that it's not me.
He
It's not.
said in the South, you wouldn't make it in the South. You bring your man to the South, a big girl will take him from you. I'm like, damn, like, really? It's like that?
Oh no, they not. What, they think we don't have agency? No, I bring my girl in the South. First of all, she's not even from the U.S. But I'll bring my girl to the South. Who's gonna? I'm there isn't a big chick that'll take her from me. No, I have my own. I know what I like. I
Yeah,
know what I
facts.
like. Like unless there's like a big girl in the South with like some super glossy lips, and even then there aren't lips glossy enough. I'm sorry, Lizzo.
Yep, Lizzo and Gabby Sidibe over
Oh
me.
God.
I think they were trolling, but still, just to say that is just hilarious.
Oh God. But fellas, so check out Danika's thing because hear it from the lady's point of view. You disrespect yourself. You dishonor yourself and your family. Like I wouldn't want my son to go through nothing like that. You dishonor me. Like why would you do that? I made sure you had decent DNA. Why would you do that? And no, I'm not gonna raise my son in the South. That's like one of the main draws, like to California. I don't know. Maybe palm trees just repulse fat chicks or something.
Maybe. I don't know what it is, but I mean, he was right there, right though. Because when I went to Florida, I
Uh-huh.
seen nothing but fat white girls with black guys, or you see a lot of even fat black girls with white guys. You just see a whole bunch of crazy looking things there, and usually the one is one big person and one skinny person all the time.
And it's always the dude that's skinny, huh?
Yeah.
So who do answer me this? Oh, you
Mm.
only visit the South. So Southerners, answer me this. Who do the big black dudes date? Like if the big black women in the South are dating the skinny dudes or the buff
Mm.
dudes, who are the big black dudes? Who are the fat dudes dating? Who are the people like Robin Harris dating?
Skinny girls.
So then it would behoove me to become a fat dude. Oh, it's all kind of back. Okay.
Yeah, it's backwards. You wouldn't like it there.
All right. I'm about to close up and go to my next show. Melody, put the link to your new channel in the chat room. And yeah. So yeah, if y'all find me dead in like Alabama or some crap like that, know that it's in a plane crash and I was flying somewhere else. Like it's not, it's I dang. Even though I understand y'all plight, just if you have to do it, then go with the least fat girl that you could find in your area, please. Please. Just to reset the bar back to the Soul Train line.
Facts.
You
Hey,
know?
Eisen, can you drop my link? Because I can't do it from up here.
Here, let me see if I can get it. All right. Because your name is so common that if I do, I mean, I'm subscribed, but I have like a lot of subscriptions. Your name is so common that, you know, you don't come up on the search just yet. So I have to, I'm go to my history. Let me do it right quick.
Yeah, maybe you can give me some ideas of a name for my show. Something that stand out.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Well, I mean, your name is fine. Just, you know, put like something on the end of it. Like, we can talk about it. We'll do a hangout and we'll talk about it.
Okay, cool.
You know, oh, you could just say Melody's dope discussions.
No, Danica will kill me if I did that. Danica would be pissed, right, Danica?
All right, don't do that then. Okay, all right. Here's the link. All right, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, right. GameChanger and I will be going live from my channel tomorrow, so check us out 9 o'clock Eastern time.
Most definitely. And with that, I want to thank the Cash App. Oh, by the way, happy birthday to Danica. It was February 1st. Happy birthday to her. With that, I want Danica. So Danica, here, let me see if I can find it. This is her thing, and that's her channel. She's like a couple comments above you. What's that, Moist? So yeah, but check her channel out. It's a lot of good stuff there. She also has books and stuff. So check her out. But yeah, and with that, I want to say thank the Cash App and Super Chats. I want to say thank the managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, and those who participate in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Special thanks to Melody for coming up. You know, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. I will be on there. We will be discussing the plight of pygmies tomorrow on her show. And right now we are going into the movie. We are about to watch Diary of a Mad Black Woman, one of Tyler Perry's, and I hope to see y'all there. Okay, the link to that is pinned in the chat room. And this is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.
Peace.